Hey guys, how you going? Okay guys, let's get into Marilyn Manson. He has, it has been alleged, or allegations have come up about Marilyn Manson being abusive. Marilyn Manson faces fresh abuse allegations from actress who says FBI are involved. Now, there's been more than one person coming up and saying this about him, and to be honest, his whole lifestyle does not fill you with positive feelings. He's more of a person that when you're depressed, you'll go and listen to his music, and at least I did. I used to listen to the song Beautiful People when I was angry. So there you go. And that's, I'd never liked the bloke. I only liked one song of his and didn't really care much about him other than that. I didn't follow him. I wasn't really into him. But anyway, another woman has accused Marilyn Manson of sexual abuse only weeks after actress Evan Rachel Wood alleged that the musician had abused her during their relationship. Earlier this month, February the 1st, Wood and several other women accused Manson of sexual abuse, grooming and manipulation. The musician has denied the claims, saying that all his intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Now, actor Bianca Elaine alleges that the musician forcefully kissed her in 1995 when she was 16, with the pair going on to have a sexual relationship within 3 years later. It was a very confusing relationship, and looking back, I feel it was emotionally abusive, she told The Sun. I was in love with him and I thought it was mutual. I just wanted a regular relationship with him. Elaine went on to claim that Manson would be very sweet one minute, then he'd degrade me in front of his friends. When he was with his entourage or a group of guys, he would say things to me that I was fat, she said. I was 5'2" and 120 pounds at the time. The worst was he once told me I look like a dirty Mexican witch because I have olive skin. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's really, really rude. But I've had the, when I was thin, I had an abusive boyfriend who used to say, you're fat. And he was fat. And so I'd tell him to have a good look in the mirror. Okay, he would purposely say things like that to make me feel bad about myself. There is also said to be FBI involvement in the case, with Elaine claiming that she has set up a meeting with the Bureau in Maryland. I'm going to tell the FBI everything I know. I just hope they don't let us down, she said. They are taking this very, very seriously, which they should. Oh dear, the FBI. Okay. They're not known to be really reliable. I mean, some of them are. Some of the agents are honest people, but I think it's the whole agency itself is run by corruption. Who knows? It might have been sorted out. You know, I don't know. She added, I said one day I can't take this anymore, so I contacted emergency tip line. He's terrorized us enough. It's intimidating because I've never talked to an FBI agent before. She's been very nice, but I'm still scared. It comes after reports that the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is set to investigate the abuse allegations that have been made against Manson. Game of Thrones actor Esme Bianco has also accused the musician of abuse, claiming he chased her around his home with an axe. Wow. Elsewhere, Phoebe Bridgers recounted her alleged experience with the singer, claiming that he had told her he had a rape room in his house when she visited him at home as a teenager. Manson has been dropped from his record label, Loma Vista, after the allegations were made public. His booking agent, CAA, and longtime manager, Tony Sciola, I don't know how to say that, also went on to drop him, while it was confirmed that his appearances would be removed from any TV shows, American Gods and The Creep Show anthology. Okay, let's look at more. And I've heard quite a few things, like that he used to fantasize about attacking his girlfriend and beating her. Okay, so graphic Marilyn Manson video resurfaces amid abuse accusations. More disturbing Marilyn Manson details are resurfacing, including a graphic video and shocking account of an attack on his own mother. In 2009 music video for the song Running to the Edge of the World, in which Marilyn Manson beats an alleged lookalike of Westworld actress Evan Rachel Wood to death, has resurfaced in the wake of her allegations against a musician. On Monday, Evan, 33, came forward alleging to have suffered sexual, physical and emotional abuse from the goth rocker during their relationship in an Instagram post. 4 other women have since come forward with similar claims. Manson has denied all allegations, which is what they do. Deny, deny, deny. Okay, it's apparently a part of the clip. He started... oh, God, I can't get away from it. Evan wrote, "He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated in submission. I'm done living in fear of retaliation, slander or blackmail. I'm here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives." That is what all the industries do, because I've got more. I've got more than just Marilyn Manson. So just hang on there. Okay, I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent. Manson's shocking attack on mother. Previously, Manson claimed to have sent his own mother, Barbara Warner, to hospital and scarred her for life after smashing a glass bottle in her face. The 52-year-old, whose real name is Brian Warner, wrote about the incidents more than 2 decades ago in his 1998 autobiography, The Long Hard Road Out of Hell. I think he's still in there, saying he hit her, spit on her and tried to choke her during violent outbursts in his youth. Well, doesn't look like he's changed. He wrote, "In a room along with my Kiss posters, hand-drawn cartoons and rock albums, I also had a collection of glass Avon cologne bottles that my grandmother had given me. Each one was shaped like a different car. I think it was the Excalibur that sent my mother to the hospital one night. She had come home late and wouldn't tell me where she had been." What? Suspecting her of cheating, "I lost the temper my father handed down to me and threw the bottle at her face, opening up a bloody gash over her lip and scattering cheap perfume and shards of blue glass across my floor. She still has the scar, which has served as a constant reminder never to have another child." Marilyn wrote, "In the altercations that followed, I hit her, spit on her and tried to choke her. She never retaliated, she just cried. I never felt sorry for her." Wow. Barbara died following a battle with dementia, aged 68, in 2014. Manson subsequently described his late mother as the first and greatest believer in me, adding, "I'll make you proud and satisfied that you know that you made the son you wanted." This man sounds deranged. Okay. Wow. The son you wanted, the one who hits you and accuses you of cheating when you're her son? My goodness. The rocker's account of attacking his mother follows another troubling revelation from the book in which he admits plotting to murder an ex-girlfriend by setting her on fire. Oh my goodness. Stars Slam Manson. Manson's former mentor, Trent Reznor, has also been forced to deny a resurfaced claim from the book that said they sexually assaulted an intoxicated and blindfolded woman whose pubic hair Marilyn claimed to have set on fire. The Grammy-winning 9 Inch Nails frontman, 55. Ah, okay. So that he also... Okay. Well, I listened to one song from 9 Inch Nails and I've listened to one song from Marilyn Manson. Ah, dear. 55 said, "I've been vocal over the years about my dislike of Manson as a person and cut my ties with him nearly 25 years ago. As I said at the time, the passage from Manson's memoir is a complete fabrication. I was infuriated and offended back when it came out, and remain so today. And I don't know if you've ever heard, but if you've ever heard the song Closer by 9 Inch Nails, it's quite rude. I used to love it, but it's a very rude song. I loved it when I was brainwashed, see. I was there too. We all were. We've all been at some time. Okay, and Limp Bizkit guitarist Wes Borland, who was a member of Manson's band for less than a year in 2008, labelled the singer a bad guy. Every single thing that people have said about him is true. He's amazingly talented, but he's stuffed up and needs to be put in check and needs to get sober, and he needs to come to terms with his demons. He's a bad guy. Yeah, wow. X speaks up. Marilyn's ex-wife, burlesque dancer Dita Von Teese, 48, broke her silence on the matter overnight. In a statement, she said, "Please know the details made public do not match my personal experience during our 7 years together as a couple. Had they, I would not have married him in December 2005. I left 12 months later due to infidelity and drug abuse. Abuse of any kind has no place in any relationship. I urge those of you who have incurred abuse to take steps to heal and the strength to fully realise yourself." Could it be she was his handler at some point, even though she's younger than him? I don't know, but she's sticking up for him. Maybe he's got something on her. I don't know. I'm just theorising. I'm just a normal person. I'm not a reporter, and I'm just sitting here theorising. The Sun revealed that police were called to Manson's LA home on Wednesday for a welfare check following a disturbing incident. The performer's been dropped by his record label and removed from 2 US TV series in the wake of recent allegations. Sources told TMZ that a worried friend called police after failing to get a hold of him, but a rep for the star communicated to police that he simply didn't want to come out. And then there's a whole lot of links here. If you are experiencing any type of problems with this type of thing, please get help. Okay, we'll just really skip past all that. I'll see if I can find more, because there is more, and then there's more connections. Okay, now from the generalnews.com, right, this is what they say. Police are now investigating the claims that have been made against Marilyn Manson regarding sexual assault and domestic abuse. Marilyn Manson is reportedly being investigated for the sex and domestic abuse claims made against him by at least 11 women. Police are meeting with one of the rocker's alleged victims this week to determine if a crime was committed. Detectives from the LA County Sheriff's Department reportedly want to work out if any crimes committed fall under their jurisdiction and if it warrants further investigation. The purported meeting was a result of the wave of allegations made against the musician by his exes, the outlet reported. The FBI was reportedly the first agency to get complaints against Manson and passed on some of the information to LA cops. When was this from? I think this is 8 days ago. Yep, February 19th, 2021. Okay, well, the FBI are involved now. Cops swarmed the Manson home earlier this month after someone inside was reportedly heard screaming that they wanted to leave. Police did a welfare check on the singer after a friend had trouble contacting him. Officers were also unable to make contact with Manson, but witnesses told them that the person inside the LA property was shouting that someone wouldn't let them leave. The cops returned 2 hours later, but left after a representative for the singer assured them the star was fine. Yeah, well, it might not have been him screaming out they wanted to leave. It might have been someone else. Actress Evan Rachel Wood, 33, was the first woman to come forward claiming her ex-fiancé horribly abused her for years. She alleged, "The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I'm done living in fear of retaliation, slander or blackmail." She went on, "I'm here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him, before he ruins any more lives. I've read this bit and this bit. See how some news leaves some of the details out? Because the last article that I'd read had left some of these details out. Evan and Manson, who was 19 years her senior, began dating in 2007. They got engaged in 2010, but it ended months later. She met Manson when she was just 18. He was 36 and married to Dita Von Teese. Other women, including Game of Thrones actress, have also accused him of severe domestic abuse. Bianca, who starred as Ross in the first 3 seasons of the show, began dating Manson in 2011, according to a story published in New York Magazine. In 2009, she said he asked her to fly to LA to star in a music video with him and play a victim lover who would have to pretend to like being manhandled. But she claims she spent the next 3 days in lingerie, barely sleeping or eating, with Manson serving up cocaine rather than food. She alleged he lost his temper and threw the camera around, becoming violent, tying her with cables to a prayer kneeler, lashing her with a whip, and using electric sex toy called a violet wand on her wounds. Bianca alleged there was no discussion of safe words, but they began a long-distance affair until she moved in with him in West Hollywood in 2011. During her time with the star, she alleged he would often bite her during sex without her consent, leaving her whole body bruised, providing shocking photographs of whip marks on her body. Artist Phoebe Bridgers, who went to Manson's house with friends as a teen, claimed Manson bragged about having a rape room in his house. He referred to a room in his house as the rape room. I thought it was just his horrible frat boy sense of humour, Bridges wrote. I stopped being a fan. I stand with anyone who came forward. Bridges claimed the label knew, management knew, the band knew. Distancing themselves now, pretending to be shocked and horrified, is pathetic, Bridges said. Manson vehemently denied the allegations in a statement he posted on Instagram. He wrote, "Obviously my art and my life have been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Regardless of how and why, others are now choosing to misrepresent the past. That is the truth." Okay, now most of that I've read. Now let's go with some connections here. Actually, before we do, I'll bring something else up, and I'll just go through some of the headlines. It keeps snowballing out of control. It could be the subject of an FBI investigation. And they touched the 16-year-old. What else have we got? Marilyn Manson fans on their tattoos. I feel quite mortified. How many people have a tattoo of Marilyn Manson on them? Marilyn Manson once sang about beating someone with a lunchbox. And he looks very different without his makeup. Doesn't he? He does not look like the same person. Look at that. Wow. Anyway, what else have we got in here? They keep getting worse. People with Manson tattoos. What do I do now? Cover it. Get something else. What else have we got? Okay, let's go on to something else. Okay, because I remember back in the 90s and that they were around the 2000s, you know, and from the 80s onwards, there was something called satanic panic. What a lot of people don't understand is that was a throw-off to stop anyone from looking into it any further. Because as the public are about to find out, they wouldn't believe what's going on. And they're not going to believe it. That's why it has to be done slowly. And it's starting to come out. With all of this, it's starting to come out. Johnny Depp's bromance with Marilyn Manson, blamed for ruining his life and his career. And Johnny Depp, there's a lot about Johnny Depp that I am very wary of as well. People think, okay, that his wife has been beating him up. Now, it might be, but I wouldn't take that too much as truth. That is what is being reported on mainstream news. But let's read this. Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson have a friendship that goes back decades. Manson is godfather to Depp's daughter Lily Rose, and the two have matching tattoos. They share a lot together, and Depp has appeared in Manson's videos such as Say 10 and Kill For Me. Now they are sharing public allegations of abusing their exes, as Johnny Depp is embroiled in a legal case with his ex-wife Amber Heard, and Manson's ex-girlfriend Evan Rachel Wood has publicly named him as the man who did all those horrible things to her. Now some are sounding off on social media blaming Johnny Depp's trouble on Manson and saying that his bromance with the shock rocker ultimately ruined his life and career. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Well, it hasn't helped, but it hasn't ruined his career. I believe his career was ruined before this. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Memphis 3 that Johnny Depp stood up for and rallied for, saying they were innocent. And go and look at the West Memphis 3. Go and do some research on that case. The 3 young boys were murdered in some sort of look-like ritual kind of thing. And the Memphis 3 were blamed for it. Just go and look at the West Memphis 3 and that whole story, and it might make some sense when you start coming back to all of this. Marilyn Manson has always had a dark, macabre persona, and some of the statements he's made to the public are beyond disturbing. When asked during a 2009 interview with Spin magazine what the lowest part of his life was following the breakup with Evan Rachel Wood, he explained that on Christmas Day he called her over 150 times and cut himself as a way for her to permanently know how much pain she caused him. Really. I think if that's what he has done, he has severe mental problems. Evan referred to Marilyn Manson's behaviour during testimony before Congress and said that he would manipulate her by saying he was suicidal if she left him. Once when she returned to try and defuse the situation, she alleged he bound her feet and wrists and tortured her. Johnny Depp, on the other hand, had an all-American good boy image, and people were stunned and shocked when Amber Heard made her allegations against the actor turned rocker. And some think that Marilyn Manson has been a negative influence on Johnny Depp over the years. Marilyn Manson and Johnny Depp are extremely comfortable with each other and have been photographed and videotaped kissing on stage. Marilyn has stated that they are like brothers and have several matching tattoos. You may see a video of Marilyn giving Johnny a kiss on stage below, which I won't play. Oh, it's in a still shot anyway. Amber Heard revealed during court testimony that Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson went on a 24-hour alcohol and drug binge together after he dropped his daughter off for school. You may see that report below. They like to get real stuffed up together. Depp has a history of anger issues, but the ex-lovers who defended him weren't lying, I don't think. It does seem to have escalated here, and I don't know what that is. Here's another video of Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson putting their bromance on full display. What do you think about the abuse allegations against Marilyn Manson and Johnny Depp? Do you think Marilyn has had a negative influence on Johnny? Well, I really think that Johnny Depp has been his own downfall. This post deals with domestic violence and suicide. It started in an Instagram post by actress Evan Rachel Wood on February the 1st. The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson. And I've pretty much read a lot of this already. It was pretty much the same story as the other one I read on the news.com. Okay, but this one even goes further. Okay. Four more women followed suit over the course of that Monday, posting lengthy and detailed statements to their Instagram detailing horrific abuse. All of the women say they suffer from PTSD, and two of the women, including Wood, detail suicide attempts as a result of being physically and psychologically assaulted. Manson's former full-time personal assistant, Ashley Walters, wrote, "He was very skilled at gaslighting his inner circle. I'd witnessed him inflict his psychological abuse on everyone he employed and everyone he dated. He would dictate the perimeters of our reality. Horrifying, deranged behaviour and insane scenarios became normalised. He was extremely interested in mind control, torture tactics and spy devices to gather information for blackmail and manipulation." Exactly what I just said about his ex-partner, who he apparently went out with for 8 years, or was married to for 8 years, who said there was nothing wrong with him. Blackmailing? Has he got anything on her? "I was emotionally abused, terrorised and scarred. I was locked in rooms when I was bad, sometimes forced to listen to him entertaining other women," wrote model Sarah McNeely. "I was verbally berated for hours upon hours, blamed for everything under the sun in order to make me feel worthless. I believe he gets off on ruining people's lives. I stand in support of all that have and all who will come forward. I want to see Brian held accountable for his evil." And that's one of her posts on Instagram. Artist Gabriella spoke of meeting Manson when she was 22 and he was in his late 40s. She spoke of being charmed by his love and affection. She described their relationship as going from 0 to 100, with him telling her he loved her after 2 weeks and asking her to join his tour of Europe. "I do not have fond memories of this tour, though, as things went downhill quickly. He would tie me up for the first of many times and attack me. I sobbed on the floor in the hotel room, and when I looked at him, he was smiling." She shared that on Instagram. Model and actor Ashley Lindsay Morgan says during her time with Manson, she was given rules and things turned dark very quickly. If you've ever been in an abusive relationship, you know that's exactly how they start. They are very, very loving in the beginning, and quickly within the first, well, it took 6 months for mine, maybe not even 6 months. Within that time, their true colours will come out. There was abuse, sexual violence, physical violence and coercion. "I still feel the effects every day. I have night terrors, PTSD, anxiety and most crippling OCD. I try to wash constantly to get him off me." The damning statements made front page news around the world, and Manson has remained in the headlines ever since as more and more allegations come to light, and a history of violent, abusive and degrading behaviour is unpacked by a world who are being faced with the reality that we let him get away with it. Horrible distortions of reality, Manson dropped by his record label. Manson released a statement on his own Instagram as the allegations against him made worldwide news. "Obviously, my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners, regardless." Yeah, we've read that. The 52-year-old has been officially dropped by his record label, manager of 25 years and talent agency, who would have all known what was going on. In a statement sent to The Hollywood Reporter, Loma Vista Recordings said they will no longer promote Manson's recent album or work with him on future projects. And so, see, like, this is what I'm talking about. From all of this, from the music, from the movies, from the TV shows, we have all been programmed to a certain way. Now, a lot of us have woken up, and we can see it now for what it is, but it has been like this satanic, nihilistic view on life. And honestly, I can say no wonder we have high suicide rates and people having mental problems, because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to put you in that way of thinking, that dark way of thinking, and that everything's like as I said, I used to be a liberal, okay? I listened to Nine Inch Nails' song Closer. I used to like the song because I was a liberal, and I thought, yeah, yeah, whatever. Not that I would do that, whatever, but I mean, just that's the way that you start thinking. Like anything kind of goes, as long as it's not like you're not hurting anybody and you're consenting or whatever. But it was sort of, I don't know, twisted. And then once I woke up, I look back and I just think, oh my goodness, I was severely influenced by TV, movies, music, anything you can think. It's coming at us from all directions. And at one point, honestly, after what happened to me, I was suicidal. And I've pulled myself back out of it. And I'm not even depressed anymore. Somewhere along the line, you will get a hold of yourself. You will, when you start to realize what's been happening, it just puts all these puzzle pieces together, and you can connect it all, and it makes more sense as to why this is all happening. And when we say that men have been demasculated, not all men, just a lot of people have been, and also that's just in the West, because in China they're actually masculine. They're making sure their men are masculine. Now, what I mean by that is not being violent. Okay, it's not a masculine man does not hit his wife or anything like that. A masculine man would actually look after his wife and protect her. So, I hope you can understand what I'm saying, but we have all been programmed into a certain... When you hear of domestic violence increasing, there's a reason for it. It is not just organic, if you know what I mean. It comes from somewhere. So, my ex used to love the movie called Once Were Warriors from New Zealand, which was a very violent movie. And it was about domestic violence. So, warning, if you do go and watch Once Were Warriors, it is about domestic violence. It's a very violent movie. And he used to love that movie. And see what I mean? All these movies come out and things come out, and then things start happening. It's like life imitating art. But I think at the beginning, art was imitating life, but it's come back around to life now imitating art again. And it's just going to keep going around in a circle until we break the chain. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. I'm not trying to say it's not these people's fault. Because you choose whether you want to be good or bad. Okay, back into the story anyway. Okay, in light of today's disturbing allegations by Evan Rachel Wood and other women naming Marilyn Manson as their abuser, Loma Vista will cease to promote his current album effective immediately. Due to these concerning developments, we've also decided not to work with Marilyn Manson on any future projects, the record label said. On Wednesday, 3 days after the first allegations were made, police were called to Manson's house just after 6 p.m. due to reports of a disturbing incident. TMZ reports officers were called after a worried friend called, we've read that, over his well-being. But that concern for his well-being was from someone inside his house screaming that they weren't allowed to leave. And when the police went there, a spokesperson for Marilyn Manson came out and said everything's all right, he's all right. Well, what about the person wanting to be let out? Who is it? Let the truth be revealed. 2 former partners make statements. As the week continued, more women started to make statements about the allegations. Rose McGowan, who was engaged to Manson for 2 years before they split in 2001, said she is proud of Wood and the other accusers. She said Manson was not like that when they were in a relationship, but that has no bearing on whether he was like that with others before or after. Okay, I stand with Evan Rachel Wood and other brave women who've come forward, McGowan said on Monday in a tweet. It takes years to recover from abuse and I send them strength on their journey. Okay, again, I'm not saying this is true, but he could have something on Rose McGowan. Blackmail. He did like to blackmail people. Or maybe he didn't touch her. Maybe it was just the lower people he thought were lower than him and who weren't going to be serious in a relationship. Days later, Dita Von Teese, who was married to the rocker for a year in 2005, explains she has been processing the news. To those who have expressed your concerns of my well-being, I appreciate your kindness. Please know the details made public do not match my personal experience during our 7 years together as a couple. Otherwise, she wouldn't have married him. Smashing her head with a sledgehammer. Manson's past words re-examined. As the allegations sunk in, Manson's past interviews and admissions started to re-emerge in headlines. In 2009, Spin magazine interviewed with Manson quotes the rocker as saying of Evan Rachel Wood, I have fantasies every day about smashing her with a sledgehammer. Every time I called her that day, I called 158 times. And then he cut himself and he wanted to show the pain she put him through. And that is just like, seriously. Manson's own night, his book, described by the Chicago Reader as generally mistreating one or more women per page. He talks about plotting the murder of his ex-partner and bandmate Nancy because she had to die. At the time, taking someone's life seemed like a necessary growing and learning experience, like losing your virginity or having a child, he wrote. This man is absolutely demented. He recalled the story where he continually harassed a hot brunette who he threatened to attack in the parking lot and crush you beneath your own car when she refused his attention. There's a horrible chapter where he admits to sexually assaulting a woman after tricking her into getting drunk, referring to her as a sea creature and water behemoth. And in a chapter called Meet and Greet, he details a story where he invited a deaf groupie back to the recording studio, covered her in raw meat, urinated on her and encouraged his bandmates to perform acts with her. Wow. You can read more about Manson's autobiography here. I don't think I'd like to read his autobiography at all, but it might be interesting to put two and two together. I thought he was actually going to kill me. More allegations are made. At least 14 women have now come forward to accuse Manson of abuse, with many more backing up those allegations, with witness accounts of violent tendencies, prompting California State Senator Susan Rubio to call on the US Department of Justice to investigate. In 2018, actor Charlene Yee alleged that Manson harassed her and other women while visiting the set of the TV series House. She said he made inappropriate sexual comments to the women and called her a Chinaman. Yee was forced to deactivate her social media after speaking out. Wow. And apparently he's a white supremacist. Okay. A week after naming Manson as her abuser, Wood shared more allegations against the singer, detailing his anti-Semitic and racist behaviour. I was called a Jew in a derogatory manner, she added on Instagram. He would draw swastikas over my bedside table when he was mad at me. I heard the N-word over and over, she continued. Everyone around him was expected to laugh and join in. If you did not, or God forbid you called him out, you were signalled out and abused more. I've never been so scared in my life. The actor posted 3 photos of Manson's tattoos, 2 on his arms, 1 on his chest, that she described as Nazi symbols. Actress Bianca Elaine told The Sun she was 16 when he forcefully kissed her. And then 3 years later, they began a relationship. Now that I've actually had love in my life, I know that wasn't love. I don't know what I was thinking, she told The Sun. And people will say, Why, if that happened in 2000, if that happened when she was 16, why 3 years later would you begin a relationship? It's called Stockholm Syndrome, where you love your abuser. And it's hard. It's hard to admit that that can happen. He would be very sweet one minute, then he'd degrade me in front of his friends. The worst, he once told me I look like a... Oh, I can't read that. He would purposely say things like that to make me feel bad about myself. Well, he does sound like a bit of a... He actually does sound racist than saying things like that. Like, there's real racism and then there's just using the word, you know, throwing it around. And I do believe there is real racism too. I'm not saying there isn't. She claimed that Manson made her have relations with him while his friends watched. Oh, with his friends while he watched. He was never violent towards me, but I believe the women have come forward, and I think I've dodged a bullet in a lot of ways. Threats from Twitter threads from 2020 written by guitarist and co-host Dan Cleary have also been revisited in light of Wood's allegations. He narrated what happened with Wood when he worked for Manson in 2007-8, alleging Manson turned Wood into a different person in just 1 year. He would threaten to kill her, cut her up, bury her, embarrass her to the world, making her cry and fear made him feel good. And this is his, I think it's Instagram. Everyone in his immediate circle knew this, but everyone, including myself, is afraid to say anything because of the code. It's frowned upon to tell people's private business. Those of us that stay quiet do it because we're making a living, and it's hard to find work in music if you can't keep your mouth shut. But enough is enough. His fans will be angry and not believe it because they don't want to. I understand that. I'm sorry to them, but it's true. Singer Phoebe Bridgers also tweeted out her support to the alleged victims, sharing that when she visited Manson's house as a teenager, he referred to a room as that certain room. Wolf Alice singer Ellie Roswell tweeted, I met Marilyn backstage at a festival a few years ago. After his compliments toward my band became more and more hyperbolic, I became suspicious of his behaviour. I was shocked to look down and see he was filming up my skirt with a GoPro. Scarlett Capella says Manson subjected her to emotional, physical and sexual abuse after pursuing her in 2011 while she was modelling in Mexico City. I had respected him as an artist and was thrilled he wanted to work with me and wanted to paint me, she posted on Instagram. He would go from charming and loving to complete monster behaviour. And that is a big thing. That is a huge thing when you're going through domestic abuse. They can go from charming and loving to complete monsters. He exploited, with the one I was with, mainly when he drank. And it was very, very strange because his whole pupils would go black. And you would know there's no one home. I could wave my hand in front of his eyes. He wouldn't blink. He wouldn't flinch. And you knew then to run, get away. So he exploited an unequal power dynamic and put me in a place of fear, controlling when I was allowed to speak, what outfits and colour lipstick I would wear. Tori Lynn, who runs Los Angeles-based vintage clothing and jewellery shops, said she experienced Manson's abuse firsthand. It's taken me years to truly understand the damage he's done to me, plus the people I love the most in this world. Lynn wrote an Instagram story, Marilyn Manson is an abuser. Musician Chloe Black says she was subjected to Manson's abuse 10 years ago, writing in an Instagram post. He said many racist and anti-Semitic things and laughed at my outrage. He belittled me for listening to black people music when he flew... Oh my goodness. I didn't know there was black people music. Only because I tend to enjoy all music, no matter who it comes from, depending on if it's good. When he flew into a rage, he had a growling, animalistic scream and threw glasses at walls. One night I thought he was actually going to kill me. He confided something so dark, violent and incriminating that I thought there was no way he was going to just let me leave that house alive. He bragged to her about the violent and abusive things he did to some of these women, apparently. So in 2011, I dated a famous psychopath. That wasn't easy to write, and I'm honestly terrified. Artist and writer Louise Keybell wrote on Instagram that Manson emotionally and financially abused her when she was 19. I looked up to him and he took advantage of my trust, exploited me, emotionally and financially abused me, and tried to control me, Keybell wrote in an Instagram post. After speaking out, I experienced harassment, stalking and cyberbullying, some of this from people associated with him. Fashion stylist Love Bailey says Manson pulled a gun on her during a photo shoot in 2011. Manson had just finished having relations with a blackout wasted actress who fell and hurt her knee on a bedside table, so she ran over to help the actress, Bailey said in Instagram. Marilyn pulled a gun to my head and he pulls the Glock straight to my forehead and says, I don't like that word. I don't know if you can see that. Pile of sticks. It's another word for a pile of sticks. That's exactly what this word means. As he laughs in a really dark, aggressive tone. This wasn't a joke. And that's obviously her. Model and makeup artist Saint Sasha says she felt fearful of Manson during their 2016 relationship, describing him as the most terrifying human being I've ever known, with more power than any one person should have. There's more to this story and scarier sides of him that I wish I could scream at the top of my lungs. But I know I wouldn't get away with it, she wrote in a 2016 blog post reshared this week on her Instagram. Adult film star Jenna Jameson revealed the singer fantasized about burning her body alive in an interview with Daily Mail. She has not, however, accused him of abuse. Our relationship was odd. We didn't go out long because I cut it off after he would nonchalantly say he fantasized about burning me alive. Sexually, he liked to bite, and it was disconcerting, Jameson shared. More recently, Game of Thrones actress Esme Bianco, who began dating Manson in 2011, has come forward with allegations of abuse, saying she felt like a prisoner during the time she spent with the singer. In an interview with The Cut, Bianco explained that in 2009, Manson asked her to fly to LA to star in a music video with him where he needed to have a victim lover. But while Bianco believed the job would be purely professional, she claimed she spent the next 3 days in lingerie, barely sleeping or eating, with Manson serving up cocaine rather than food, which we've read. The 38-year-old said that she remembers him losing his temper and becoming violent, in which we have read that as well. She eventually moved into his apartment in 2011, where she lived with the singer for 2 months. But after a brief honeymoon period, Bianco said he soon began to control every aspect of my life. I basically felt like a prisoner, she told the publication. I came and went at his pleasure. Who I spoke to was completely controlled by him. I called my family hiding in the closet. In one instance, he also repeatedly cut her torso with a knife. I just remember laying there and I didn't fight it, she explained. It was kind of the final straw moment where I'd lost all sense of hope and safety. She later reached her breaking point in May 2011 when Manson chased her around the apartment with an axe. Wow, a month after she moved in. The actress eventually left. Well, there will be a point where you're pushed to get out if you've got any self-preservation at all. There will come a point where, you have to get out. So there you go, guys. There's Marilyn Manson with a bit of Johnny Depp thrown in. Let me know what you think about all that. And if you've watched a few documentaries on the West Memphis 3, particularly I want to hear your opinion on Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson being friends. Hang on one sec. Okay, just to give people who have no idea what the West Memphis 3 was about, this is them. The murder. West Memphis, Arkansas, May 6, 1993 at 1:45 p.m. A search party was dispatched looking for 3 young boys named Steve Branch, Michael Moore and Christopher Bayers, 3 second-grade school children at Weaver Elementary School who'd been reported missing by their families the day before. The 3 boys were best friends. A police officer found a boy's black shoe floating in a muddy creek leading to a drainage canal in Robin Hood Hills. The murder site was Devil's Den, a glen near the creek. You're starting to see things here? Because I am. Nearby police found the boys' bodies naked and hogtied with their own shoelaces. The children had died horribly. They were in full rigor mortis when their bodies were discovered. Their bodies were frozen in what appeared to be a sitting down position. This was caused by the hog ties between their wrists and ankles. Their arms were pulled behind their bodies and the wrists were tied behind the bodies to the ankles. It would have been an agonizing position to be in. I don't want to show that bit down the bottom there. Someone or several somebodies beat the hapless victims with fist sticks, hogtied them, tortured Branch and Byers with a knife, cut off Byers' genitals, then dumped their bodies in a ditch. Among other injuries, the boys had been mutilated with a knife around the face and neck, and a bite mark imprint was found in Branch's skin, although whether this was caused by animal predation was never determined. Bayers' genitals had been mutilated. A prosecution expert claimed Bayers' wounds were the result of a knife attack, and that he had been purposely castrated by the murderer. Defence experts claim the injuries were probably more the result of post-mortem animal predation. So they say. You can tell a human bite from an animal bite pretty much nearly by looking at it. So these are the West Memphis 3 that were accused and that Johnny Depp helped to get off. So look, maybe they didn't do it. I'd need to, but if you look, okay, here's Stephanie Harlow. She does 3 parts on this West Memphis 3, but I don't know what her conclusions are, but it is very suspect to me. And there were a few other stars that stood up for these people too. Paradise Lost is, I believe, is it a movie about the West Memphis 3? But of course they're going to spin it one way. There's another lady here doing, I think she's a well-known YouTuber, doing the West Memphis 3. But it's worth looking into. And then once you do that, looking at Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson's relationship can actually just give you a bit more insight. But guys, let me know what you think down below. And I'm going to leave it there for today, and I'll be back in 2 days' time. Okay, guys, have a good morning, good afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, guys, bye.